Hey YouTube, I just showed you my two different systems that I've got here. This one here I'm actually trying to tune so that I can put my Thyrotron Tesla coil on my Thyrotron tube in here and run it as a Thyrotron switch Tesla coil. But when I was doing that, I noticed some interesting things that nobody really talks about, and that is magnetic coupling. With this primary here, you've got about the same amount of turns, or there's a few less turns than this one over here, but you can see that the percentage of the secondary that it covers is about 20%, and you could see in the video that the performance was less. The capacitors are different, but the power input and voltage is basically the same. Halfway voltage doubler, and then a charging reactor through a dequeuing diode, so everything's the same tubes, GU81M. But with this one here, the secondary itself covers nearly 90% of the area of the primary. So the energy exchange is much quicker. Because you're dealing with constant wave, the energy transfer is a lot faster than with a normal spark gap Tesla coil. With a spark gap Tesla coil, you're transferring energy from the primary to the secondary over a certain amount of radio frequency cycles. Well, with constant wave, it's more instant. It's nearly a 1-to-1 ratio. So you want to get your magnetic coupling to be higher, to be sort of more like a standard transformer. So that's something that people don't usually talk about. Also, you noticed with this Tesla coil here, I actually had to touch it with another bit of copper that was on a piece of pipe like that to actually get it to start. That's because the what do they call it, the secondary Q is very high, because this has got a lot of windings. It's got over 1,000, and this has got just over 350. So I would recommend keeping the amount of windings below 400 and keeping the magnetic coupling high, and having low value tank capacitors and a high inductance on the primary to get the best vacuum tube Tesla coil that runs with the least heat. This doesn't generate much heat in the primary tank circuit, whereas this generates a lot. It even generates heat in the charging reactor, generates heat in the capacitors and inside the windings and the interconnecting components. So yeah, something to keep in mind. Also, the distance or the diameter should be as close as possible without risking arcing from the primary to the secondary. These things are very tame, vacuum tube Tesla coils. When you start getting into spark gap Tesla coils or disruptive ones, you really need to have a good spacing between the two of them. But with vacuum tube Tesla coils, they're pretty tame. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say.